Hello and welcome back to Black Hair in the Big Leagues. I'm your host, Salisha Thomas, and you guys, I just have the pleasure of meeting a shining light. She is a light and multi-hyphenate. Let me give you a brief rundown of who she is, and I want to just dive right in as soon as possible so that we can talk about all of the things. All right, she is a Juilliard grad. Come on, come on. Tony nominated actress for her role in Vanya and Sonya and Masha and Spike. Let's go. She's been in some TV shows, including, but not limited to, NCIS, Santa Clarita Diet, Mercy Street, and You. But since having a physically damaging experience to her hair on set, she left her hit show and made a product that has changed the game for her. And we just talked before hitting this record button. She actually just gave me the rundown of what it actually is, and it sounds more than just interesting. I'm excited to dive in deep, and you guys can find out with me what is this and how actually it works, because y'all, it sounds like the bomb. And I believe her patent is pending, and if and when it goes through, she'll be the second. We'll have to confirm this, but the second Black woman to do this for hair. I need to ask about that. But please, I want you to help me welcome the CEO and founder of For Naturals Hair, actress Shalita Grant.
Hello. That was amazing.
Hi. Nice to meet you, Shalita.
To meet you too.
Okay, so I'm just you gave me a huge rundown right now, and I am now where do we even start? I'm looking at you right here on the Zoom screen, and your curls are beautiful. Your curls are popping. They look healthy. It looks so good. And I know that you have had quite the hair journey.
Yes. An odyssey, a hair odyssey.
A hair odyssey. And I guess my first question for you will be, how did you go from your hair falling out during the course of filming a TV show to where it is right now?
Well, I'll say the short version is my fierce commitment to healing. But the long story is, after I got off that show, let's talk about the damage that I needed to heal. So there was the spiritual damage of this first series regular job becoming a nightmare, that I had to escape. And
Right.
the damage that I left with physically for my hair was a bald spot, traction alopecia from season 2. And then season 3, hair loss all along the perimeter of my hairline. And so when I got off that show, I felt like I had been hit by a truck, because I had gotten off it well. But, it was also damn, I got to heal everywhere. And so I switched from talk therapy to trauma therapy to somatic therapy, right? Because, the issues, the main part of me physically that, sustained a lot of damage and was the cause of a lot of shame, a lot of blame, and a lot of pain emotionally was my hair. And so I needed to heal somatically, physically. What does it feel like to have shame for the way that you look, right? What does that feel like in the body?
Right.
And how
briefly,
can I capture that?
What is somatic healing? What,
Somatic.
Briefly?
Somatic, soma is body. So there are all these different modalities of therapy, right? So there's talk therapy, and then there's different kinds of talk therapy. There's CPT, and then there's the somatic groups of therapies. And so under that, you can do brain spotting. And so that's where I don't know the system behind it, but it's basically using your eye movement to catch the physical, like where the physical trauma happens. And it's so strange to say it that way. Like, oh, you can move your eyes and find trauma. Like you legit can. And it's really life changing. So I would leave these sessions like being really like nauseous sometimes, depending on what we discussed, and like finding, the emotions that live in the body.
Wow. I just
And
got
so PTSD,
goosebumps like you talking
yeah,
about that. I'm like, what?
yeah, like
Yeah.
PTSD healing, that was somatic therapy was created by a therapist who was treating war vets with PTSD. Previously, they thought it was all a mental thing, right? And so they were
Yeah.
trying to do different things up there. But for him, he noticed how the patients reacted physically, like how these physical triggers would cause their bodies to feel like they're back in the situation, right? And so like the heat, the sweating, like I feel like my skin is on fire. Like these are real like PTSD symptoms, in the body. And now because of, I think it's like Vanderbeek or something like that, his like middle names, that he like, because of him now, like they can like help you through these like episodes that you can have by guiding you to get like finding the comfort within your body
Okay.
by understanding where the pain is.
Okay. So, and I apologize in advance because I have a million questions for you. And so I'm just gonna jump in, and you can cut me right off.
Yeah,
Because I want to get to the end of how your curls look this good. But before we
yeah,
get there, I need to go back to the beginning. When you were on set and your hair started to break off, when did you clock it? And when you did clock it, were you scared to say something? How did you go? What was that conversation?
yeah. So these were over the course of years, right? So I had, when people watch that show, like one of the things they noticed about Percy was that my construction of my hair would change like every episode or within the episode. So those construction changes were like me being like, I am bald now, or my hair is super thin and fragile and a completely different length than the rest of my hair that wasn't getting flat ironed. Like, can
Yeah.
we find another solution to creating this ponytail you guys are committed to? So yeah, it was scary every time having to speak up, especially after speaking up so many times.
Yeah.
Like then it becomes the thing of, you have a problem, so you are the problem. And
Oh,
so, leaving that show, it became like a foregone conclusion, right? For me, because it was like, I'm going to keep getting damaged and I'm going to keep like asking for changes. And they're going to tell me that that's costing them money and costing
right.
them
Oh my
time.
God.
And so, at the end of the day, if I don't just leave the show, they're going to fire me anyway. And I did feel like they were like testing girls out, especially during my third and fourth season,
Oh
just
God.
bringing on like these guest stars that had these arcs that, could have, but then they never really like resonated with the audience in spite of how crazy I looked. My acting and my character relationships were so potent, but it was still super annoying that I looked like that doing it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So eventually you ended up leaving, which I cannot
Yeah.
even, literally, Shalita, I cannot even imagine getting my dream job and having to leave for that being the main reason of they don't know what to do with my hair and my hair is falling out.
Yeah. So for me, it was like survival. Like I had my cry about my dream dying at the beginning of season 3. Like the writing was like on the wall, for me. And I just like fought so hard to like be a team player and like try to figure this thing out for season 3. And then, I got between 3 and 4, I had started charting my hair loss around the perimeter of my hair. So now this isn't like something I can hide. This is like really like my face now, right? And if I want to work, if I want to get jobs during hiatus, if I want to, like, this is going to affect me. So when I got to my hiatus and I saw that I had about 1.5 inches of hair left, I was like, it's do or die, man. Like, you're gonna end your career on this show if you don't just have the courage to leave. So like it took it. What was your question?
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. You walked me through before we, hit record, like some Twitter blowing up and people talking about your hair design on the show and your character. How did you get through that with everybody discussing how you looked?
Oh man.
Part of your, like, how did you were you
You're gonna make me cry a little bit because
I
just
feel like I want to cry
something.
with
I just realized something. But I think that so my parents were kids when they had me. So I always preface like stories about like my childhood by being like, everybody was kids. Like everybody was kids, and generationally, and on my mom's side, everyone's kids. Like my great grandmother died in 2018. My great great grandmother died when I was 9. So like my grandmother had my mom when she was 15. Her mom started having kids, my great grandmother, when she was 13. Okay. So everybody's kids, right?
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, criticism was really like, that was like my family's language. Why are you looking like that? What's going on with your head? Why you smell like that? Why are you walking like that? Like it was just like, they were so critical,
Yes.
And my response was to try to be perfect. And I was the first child. So, I really did my best to try to comply. I like heard the criticisms and they hurt, but my response to the criticisms were like, I can
do it.
I can do it.
Like, I just
saw it as a challenge. Yeah. So fast forwarding, your ends don't justify your means. But I think that I am such a strong soul because, I did not have a pleasant start. So for me, my response in the very first, 17 years of my life was like, I'm gonna make my situation good no matter what. So like my mom would like leave town for like days at a time and leave me with my siblings. We wouldn't have a lot, like at all. And so I would just like I would say, like, let's make pretend like. That's how we did all our like imaginary games. Like, let's make pretend like. So it'd be like, let's make pretend like we're rich and we're at this fancy party, because what I saw in the TV shows was that rich people didn't eat that much anyway. Like hors d'oeuvres were like tiny. So it was like, we're just going to pretend like we're rich and this is a choice, and we would like speak with like fancy accents and stuff, and like just try to make like just try to find the light in all of my situations. So for me, when people were like writing comments and stuff, like, for me, it was like, whatever, yo, like, I know I'm doing my best. Right. And my thing was like, I just couldn't watch the show anymore. So like in the middle of season 2, I just like stopped watching the show. And so, when I would get the comments, the pings on my Twitter and stuff, it was just like, like, unless someone was like, literally your wig was showing, which did happen in season 3, I wouldn't go back and like watch it, because I knew what my hair looked like, but I also knew what I was working with, and I knew that I was doing my best. And so for me, it was just kind of easy to just not take in, like, I did so much like therapy during this time.
Yeah, I would think
I did like, I was like on every I actually told my therapist, I know how people join cults, which I got courted by a cult before, but but I thought I was saving the person that brought me. Like, I thought that's another day, but I was like, I'm in such a dark place that I can see how people would be like looking for gurus, and they like just find somebody that says the things that they need to hear, and then they give them like their whole life. I knew I was like too strong for that, but I was like, I get it though. Like, I don't see that as a, like, I get it, you know? But I
Wow.
did like the 4 agreements, and one of those agreements really helped me with
Love that book.
that it really helps me with the comments, which was like, anything anyone says is about them,
It's not,
and it's not about me, because
yeah.
I knew the truth of what I was going through. So like, the people would be like, for instance, she's letting those white people do her hair. Not true. Actually, it was a Black man doing my hair the entire 3 years. And because of my commitment and my feelings about, like, you know, protecting each other and everything, I did so much work to try to help myself and help
Yeah.
him, and, you
Yeah.
know, whatever. And, you know, when I left that show, I found out that his specialty was he was a barber, and he like put some wigs on people, but it wasn't like what I needed. He was using spirit gum. Like,
Oh,
baby, no, not on a lace front. Like, no. So like, it was like stuff like that that really helped me like arm myself from acting on some hard feelings, because in spite of the fact that I made it through, it didn't mean that I didn't have hard feelings. And so that's what I had to heal. I had to heal the things that I'm not talking about with you. You know what I mean? Like, I had to heal those, like, those dark moments for myself in my body.
yeah. So you went from, okay, you got the series regular. Life is good. Actually, life is perfect. That's what I would think if I'd never been there and wanted that.
Right.
Over time, you're able to measure the difference in your hair, the decline, which you're like, this is not in my head.
Yeah.
I have physical evidence, and then going from, okay, blowing up on Twitter, not in the way that you want to be, but your
No.
acting is on point, which is why they keep hiring you. Like let's go. Like
Yeah.
you're good at what you
Like,
do, but
yeah.
also you couldn't watch yourself anymore. So how was that like when you got, started filming for the next season? Was there any imposter syndrome? Was there any like, why am I like, whether it's questioning yourself, like, do I still want to do this? Why am I showing up for another season? Like, I don't, do you know what I'm trying to
Yeah. Are you saying like what got me through? Like what?
kind of, yeah, like,
Yeah. I mean, the contract, honestly, like, it's
I
like,
mean,
I don't want to get sued, you know? So it was like, I have to show up. I have to show up. And for me, it was just survival mode. You know, it was like,
yeah,
I hope that whatever construction I start with doesn't damage my hair in some like unknown way. And then it always would. So for season 4, when I came back, my boundary, like my hard boundary was like, through my reps, they're no longer allowed to touch my hair. Like, that's like, we gave you guys 3 years and there's nothing but damage. And I knew that putting that line in the sand also meant that I needed also to find an exit, because,
yeah,
you know, like, at the end of the day, like, this is not, it's not something that's sustainable. And so when
right.
I came back in that horrible wig, you know, I didn't even care at that point what anybody thought, because I knew what I looked like that summer. And I
See,
knew that if I didn't have that black helmet head wig on, that I would just be bald. And so it's like, do you please other people, or do you take care of yourself? And so that, for me, I have a more fati on my, on my arms. And it's the stoic principle that, like, everything that happens to you is for your good. And if it came with pain, then it's a lesson. And so for me, my soul's lesson was really healing that people pleaser, that, you know, need to achieve as a way of feeling like, you know, I have worth as a human being. You know, when I came back in season 4 looking crazy like that, I felt the strongest I had ever felt, because I was just like, I don't care. I'm taking care of me.
yeah,
Like, I'm putting me first. And if I have to look like this to put me first, then guess what? I'm on
Right.
time. I'm here
Right.
on time. Let's shoot,
I feel like it might be hard to understand of like I did a show like my very first show getting my equity contract. They're like, "Do you want we want your natural we want you to have curls. Do you want your natural hair? Do you want a wig?" And I opted for a wig and everybody was like, "It is so ugly." They Shalita, the cast, and I love the cast, but they were like, "Why are you wearing that ugly wig?" Well, I was so embarrassed of my own curls. So to me, I'm like, what the alternative is I have to do my hair every single day and I don't know how.
Yeah.
And I don't like the way it looks. I was
Yeah.
not anywhere where I am now. And so I completely understand. You're like, give me the freaking ponytail wig.
Yeah.
Give it to me
If you want a ponytail, put it on the wig and I'll slap it on.
until I figure out myself. And so how did you
Figure it out? So
Yes.
after the somatic therapy, I'm like super aware of my feelings and my body, right? And so let's talk. I'm going to be so real. I had some super hard feelings about Kenya. Not the kind of hard feelings that you like write about. Like
Kenya, like the country
Real
Kenya?
No, Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Wait, what?
I know.
I'm like, we going back to Africa right now? Okay, what's wrong?
No, not yet. But no, Kenya for Real Housewives. I'm going real like shallow, but to get deep. Going shallow to get deep. Because she's a Black woman that was on television, a show that gets all these views, whatever. And she's thriving with this long hair. And I was just like, damn, I wish I could grow my hair that long and thick. And then I was just like, you know what? You should try. And I was like, that's right. Because listen, I come from a hair background. Like my grandma's owned her hair salon since before I was born. Hair Dreams,
Yes.
And that title has just been banging around in my soul my whole life. So like, I was like, I want to make my hair dreams come true. And some of my hair dreams were, I wanted curl definition. I wanted hair that I didn't have to use a lot of product on. I wanted hair that reacted well to water, that didn't stand up, poof, shrink, and get hard.
Yeah.
I wanted hair that was consistent, that products performed consistently in, and that when I manually styled my hair, my styling could be consistent. I wanted something that made processing easy, and I wanted thermal protection. Like I wanted to be able to wear my hair straight if I had a role that would require straight hair. But I also wanted to be able to have beautiful, juicy curls on demand. And I was like, I know I got curl, but I never seen it too long. Like I would have a peekaboo in the water when there's a bunch of water in it. And
peekaboo.
Yeah, peekaboo. And then it goes away as soon as the water's gone. And then it's like stiff, So I started doing all this research. And the first thing I had to do was kind of recognize how the cosmetology board is part of this problem. The reason in 2023, if you have any texture in your hair, you can have just a terrible experience in the hair salons. It's the reason that hairstylists are like, come with your hair clean and detangled for certain hair textures, right? Like that, there's a reason for that. And the reason is just a lack of knowledge. The cosmetology board says hair is hair and then passes out straight hair mannequins. The only service that's,
oh my God,
that's texture hair related is the relaxer. And they do that on straight hair mannequins often. So the whole concept of even having a texture, the hair types, Andre Brower developed the hair typing system. He was Oprah's hairstylist. They don't even acknowledge that there are different hair patterns in the cosmetology schools. So we're all using language that they're not even teaching in the cosmetology schools. So I was like, what system will help me figure out hair? Cosmetic chemistry. And so cosmetic chemistry is the science of hair for hair products. And so there is where I got all this really important information about why my hair practices were unsuccessful. And
Did you
so
go to school? Like you went to this?
no, there's so much research online. There's so
Okay.
much research online. Yes.
Whoa.
Just like there's just a wealth of resources
So you were just Googling
online,
away.
Googling, reading, just learning online. And then I got interested in successful but non-white hair cultures because I knew my lens on my hair, the things that I was trying to heal. My hair is difficult, it's nappy. It's hard to get a hair pattern. I need something really strong to help my hair, right? Man-made. So I knew that came from dominant culture. So I was like, what are people practicing who don't have the socio-political issues that we have in this country? And so I looked at India, Eritrea, Ethiopia, and Greece. And even just like India, right? They have Ayurvedic medicine, but they also practice that Ayurvedic belief. And Ayurveda is the belief that all of our human maladies can be solved with plants. Just even that is not American at all.
At all.
At all. And those plants are going to heal the root causes instead of the symptoms. So that is how they practice for their hair care. And so plants, plants and like what plants do, that knowledge is pretty well distributed by the people in India about what these plants can do. So in India, these families have the equivalent of our wash days, but they're treatment weekends where from mama to daddy to grandpa to the kids, everybody gets this henna mud mask treatment. And so they're using henna, but they're also using all these other Ayurvedic herbs to solve whatever maladies that specific family is having with their hair. And they sit with this on their hair and then they rinse it out. But unlike for us on our wash days, after we rinse out that hot oil treatment, that avocado, that deep conditioner from Carol's daughter, their hair is visibly and physically different.
Okay. So then what came next? Did you come up with your own concoction?
Yeah, I came up with my own concoction. So I came up with the henna mud mask. I was like, all right, those are the plants, henna, those are the plants that are going to do the things that I need for my type 4 hair. And then I thought, okay, there are also when I did the research for Black women who have used henna and had bad experiences, one of the things that they all didn't do, or a couple of them didn't do on top of other things, were not deep conditioning after. So sitting with the deep conditioner. So I was like, well, what conditioning agents do the people of India use? Cassia bovata, slippery elm. And so Cassia bovata is known as neutral henna. It's known as neutral henna because it acts like henna as it deposits in the hair, but it doesn't have color and it's not permanent. So after a couple rinses, the cassia rinses out, but it stays in the hair. And that is why you get so much shine. Like for the curl friends that are post-treatment, post-4 Naturals treatment, all of us, when we straighten our hair, it's so shiny. And people are like, don't you have oil in it? And it's like, no, we just have the heat protectant. Our hair is just really shiny because we have these plants in it that just shine.
How on earth did you do this, Shalita? So you made this first, obviously when you're first like doing this, you're making it for you.
Yeah,
but then you figured out some type of formula to be able to
do it again
do
it for other
again.
people.
Yeah.
So when I decided that I was going to turn this into a business, it was like after like this pole class that I had where I finally I did like 3 treatments before I really took my hair on the road. And
come on.
because I couldn't believe it. Salisha, the experience of putting something on your hair and maybe it works for 24 hours, right? So I didn't know how permanent this change was going to be. And so by my 3rd treatment, my hair was the best hair of my life. So much so that I didn't even feel right putting my workout wig on. So I was like, let me just wear these curls to my pole class. And just the way that the girls were like looking at me and like the teacher, like asking me all these like leading questions, like, oh, did you cut your hair? Did you, wow, like, are those curls? Like, I've never seen your hair like that before, just like like all these questions. And then I remember like dancing and like being so unafraid of going upside down, because previously
that has to feel so sexy.
Yes.
That has to feel so sexy.
And then like moving and my hair is still going.
Now you're that bitch. You're that girl who is like shaking her hair when she's dancing.
Yes.
That
and I was just
feels
like,
good.
Yes, I am like, that difference is my superpower now.
Yeah.
Nobody has this hair. And for me, I'm not a super villain. I'm like, and I know other Black women have this hair, and I want them to feel this.
And they don't know.
Too.
Some people don't know.
They have no clue.
And I'm over here trying to figure it out myself. This is literally why I've started this podcast. I'm like, I know I've got something good going on my head. What the heck is it? How do I get there? How do I uncover the gold mine that it is? And I'm not the only one.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
So making that change from like, I solved my problem to I'm going to solve other people's problem. Spiritually, that was a lot, but but the mechanics were, all right, I need a formula. And so I got started like looking for a cosmetic chemist, and then, going through that process of giving them my ingredients and giving them my made product and having them like create a formula on paper that, other people will be able to replicate. The deep conditioner, for me, it was like, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel on how to create a conditioner. So how I was doing my Cassia deep conditioner when I pre-4 Naturals hair was I would just take deep conditioner and I would just add Cassia powder and slippery elm powder to it, mix it up and put it on my hair. And on 4 Naturals hair, we even give you a dupe of that recipe, because it truly, that Cassia and that slippery elm really changes the game. And so I got a basic natural deep conditioning formula and then added the Cassia and the slippery elm. And that's how I got those 2 products. And with those 2 products, you are completely free.
Okay, questions. So you mentioned type 4 hair a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, and you would think I would know by now, but I'm still figuring it out. I've been saying that I have 3C, but I also have a lot of different, like, there's part of me that I'm like, I got some more kinky back on this section, whatever. Does it only work on type 4?
That is a very good and common question.
Yeah.
The reason it's called 4 Naturals hair is because these ingredients and this treatment system is truly life-changing for people with type 4 hair.
Is it in for all the 4s or just 4C?
All the 4s. If you have afro textured hair, this treatment is life-changing. And there is such thing as a target audience. So my target audience are Black women with afro textured hair. But all hair is changed and improved with henna. 3, 2, and 1. And even the belief that just because I am Black, I have type 4 hair, that's not true. Like, we span the typing chart for Black people.
I mean, honestly,
the 4 Naturals treatment just reveals what your true hair pattern is, because it coats the cuticle and that cortex is able to get into the formation it wants to be in.
So that's what I'm wondering. Like, when I look at your hair, I'm like, that is what my curls, and I'm talking about when like they're nice and detangled and like in the shower, and that is what my curls look like. But I've never really thought I had 4, like, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's 4C. I think maybe some sections of my head, but I'm wondering, like, I've got afro, like, I can have an afro. All I need is a pick and it's big.
Yeah. But I would not say that you, like, looking at your hair now, I would be like, I'm not sure if you have tight corkscrew ringlets, but whatever it is, it's beautiful. And the Four Naturals treatment is going to reveal it. And so it won't matter.
So I could use it.
You absolutely could. I just didn't show you the other photos, but even Amore's hair, she's not a type 4. She's like a 3C. And so she's used it for the last year and a half, and she's got this punk rock goddess hair dream going on with her red, long, now very long hair.
I mean, yeah, the before and afters that you showed me look so good. And I'm thinking I wonder if this is the thing, because I have begun to find what works for me, and I'm still experimenting. These little curls in the front, I just learned how to do finger curls literally yesterday.
Oh,
and so this is not my natural check. It's just me like trying to finger curl.
yeah.
So I'm still trying to find this process that works for me. But something that you mentioned that I'm like, wait, what? It sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Shalita, that you go back and forth between your curls and straightening your hair.
All the time now. All the time
and
now.
your hair don't look like you have put heat on it in 2 decades.
Yeah, and I just did this yesterday. Like, I was just straight in the beginning of the day, and then I took a shower and I like got my hair wet and I washed it, and then I put on my deep conditioner, and then I just rinsed it out. And
so you telling me that this Four Naturals has changed the game so hard for you that you can now straighten your curls? Because I don't think this was in this interview. I think we talked about it before we hit record. You would straighten your hair and it took months to revert.
Years. No, years. So I straightened it in 2011. I graduated Juilliard in 2010. I had an audition that it was about a year after graduating, and I straightened my hair one time with the flat iron. I got a call back. I did not get the job. And when I went to rinse my hair out, I literally had entire sections that were straight. And that was after 7 years of being natural.
See,
and
that is the scariest thing.
I know. And I wanted to solve that, Salisha. It shouldn't be that way for us. We should have grace, like there's so much like talk about, raising Black kids. And I was a Black kid that was raised with a lot of like harsh criticism and a lot of like discipline and everything. Like any little thing, sometimes they reacted so like over the top, but in their minds, it's like, because the world is going to be like this with you. Well, for me, my hair is part of me. And I just wanted to end that constant cycle of self-betrayal and shame. And like, I make one mistake and it has to be like the end of my hair, meaning a big chop.
Yeah.
So when I was, dreaming about the kind of hair I wanted, that was one of the experiences I wanted to solve. Was I want to be able to make mistakes. I want to be able to like go on set and some idiot make a hair crime and it not be a felony,
Right.
like it's just like,
wow.
I just treat it, and I can keep it moving. So again, this treatment was for me and my special circumstance of having typical fragile Afro textured hair, being in a business that requires the use of my hair.
Yeah, speak on it.
And so I wanted a treatment that would allow me to not only survive my job, but thrive. I didn't want the limits that came with having this hair, like very real on NCIS. It started raining and we had to cross the street. And the white people in the scene also, their hair gets wet too. But because I just always spoke up, I was like, hey, I can't like walk through this. Like, this is going to be a mess. And everyone was just so grateful that I spoke up. But that ended up biting me in the ass later, because it got back that, Shalita can't get her hair wet. So we had to like change the scene for her.
Wow. I know you don't need to hear me say this. I know that, but I'm going to say it out loud. Just for anybody who's listening that needs to hear it. You are not the problem.
Yeah.
The way you were born, the way you look is not a problem.
Yeah.
You have permission
Yeah.
to
And you're
be
human.
to be human.
Yeah. And that's what, I mean, I had this meeting when it got back like weeks later, and I'm like, what? And then I said in this meeting, I was like, well, the other people's hair would get wet too, because hair gets
What?
wet.
Yeah.
I was just the only person that
Who spoke up?
So it's like, you know,
Uh-uh.
yeah. So for me, I was like, if that can happen, how can I make it so that I don't have to worry about this? Well, I want to make sure I'm not dependent on wigs for one thing. And then like, I want to make sure that if I'm wearing my hair curly, that
So good.
I'm not worried about it getting wet.
It looks
you know?
so good. Okay, so you've talked about treatment. What is that? Is this something that I can buy in a jar and treat myself? Do I need to go to the salon? Do I need to fly to Mexico, wherever you are, or what, and have you do it? Like, how does it work?
So it's 2 products that literally change your life. And this is like the first run of these 2. The next run, this is going to be upside down. The label is going to be a little different, but
Okay, cute. Okay, walk me through this.
So it's 4 steps, but it's actually 3, but we say 4. The 4th is your wash and go, but the actual treatment is 3 steps. The first step is the patent pending detangling method. So one of the areas that mothers and salons get a consistent F grade is detangling textured hair. And so I wanted to standardize the detangling and find a way that like I wanted to figure out why we were detangling the way that we were, and then like how we can get textured hair centered, because I knew that the way that we detangle has nothing to do with how our actual hair works. So for instance, when you detangle textured hair, you say, I'm going to comb it out. And at the end of that process, you get a fro. Well, actually, when you have textured hair, when your hair is detangled, you should just have curls. And so that's detangled curly hair. But when you're detangling curly hair with a straight hair mindset, you're trying to get all those strands to separate and get side by side. And the very nature of our strands, most of us only have strands that are made up of 2 parts. So they're very light. And those ends, they always want to go back to the root. And so that's how you can like detangle a section and you go back to it and it's tangled again, because the hair literally shrank and the ends fall back. Like they do like a backward dive to the root. And so it causes all these tangles because the actual strand is already like, you know, in a spiral. So you do that very easy, very standard, pain-free, fast, thorough detangling method. And then you rinse that out with some shampoo. And then you add that henna mud mask. And I wanted to create a system that was in step with practices that we already have.
Detangle, wash, and condition.
Yeah, but just change the methodology and the ingredients so that they're just more, that they work, you know? So you just sit with that henna mud mask on. It's been dermatologically tested. So, you know, I say sleep with it on your first treatment. There's 3 treatments in 1 jar. And how do you get it? You put out about 3 tablespoons of the henna mud mask. Think of it as a concentrate. And then you add about 8 to 12 ounces of water, depending on how much hair you have. And I put it in a blender, and then you just put it on the hair. And then you wrap it and you go do your errands. I have wrapping videos, how to wrap your hair. You can go to sleep. Like you can make that treatment work for you. Rinse that out, shampoo, add your cassia deep conditioner, and then you leave that in for 20 minutes or sleep with it or put it in a ponytail, like do what you want to do. But when you rinse it out, your hair is just different.
Yeah. And the photos that you showed me, I see that. How many treatments is this every week? Is this every month?
So it's a hair health treatment. So think of your wash days are 2 parts. Your pre-treatment wash days are 2 parts. You're trying to treat your hair. So you sit with anything on your hair for hours and then you style it. And styling is manual, right? It's like a twist out. It's like something to create some kind of curl. And that takes hours to dry. And then you like take that out. And then that could last anywhere from like 2 days to like, I don't know, if you're good, a week maybe. And then you have to set aside like a wig or some other thing to get to that next wash day that you know is going to take all day, right? And so post-treatment life looks like this. You do your first treatment. that treatment, that henna, that cassia, that remains in your hair so that when you want to cleanse your hair next, when you're like, oh, I want to cleanse my hair, shampoo it. If you want, do a little conditioner if you like. But when you go to detangle your hair with gel, you just get curls. So that solves the hours of twisting, no, you just get your natural curl. It gives you wash and go hair. So your wash days are wash sessions. They're like an hour. And that hour will last you weeks if you want, because if you have a fuzzy section or whatever of hair, take some water, smooth it, and your hair just curls.
I can do it myself. I just have to buy those 2 bottles.
To buy the jar and the bottle, and you treat your hair. For me, when I did a big chop for the 4 Naturals audience in 2021. You can go to 4 Naturals Hair Instagram and watch the progression video. But I cut off 13 inches and I just treated my hair once a month in 2022. And like, this is what we're working with today. You know, it's just like thick and long and just healthy. And that's once a week. And when I would flat iron my hair, maybe I'll throw in an extra treatment, an extra like little henna session to like coat whatever I send.
That's what I am interested in. Like, I haven't straightened my hair since 2018. And when you told me you waited 7 years to straighten your hair and then that happened, I'm like, oh man. Because I've been thinking like, oh, spring is here, summer's around the corner. Like, I haven't straightened my Andrew, my husband. I just got married 5-6 months ago. He has never seen me with straight hair. Ever. And he doesn't care. He really likes my natural hair. He met me with dreads. He doesn't care. But I would love to just like show up to a date one day and be like, oh, this whole thing.
Oh, girl. Oh, Salisha.
But not if it's going to compromise my hair health.
No. But one thing about me, Salisha, is, I have really embraced my love of like making our hair dreams come true. And I'm telling you, at the end of a jar, 3 treatments, I would, just pack it on. I want you to do that. And all I use for my blowouts now, because you do have to worry about humidity because your hair now, like it's full of plants, right? So you'll get like a beautiful shiny set, but girl, the truth is the humidity, it will take you back to your wave, girl. But a product that works, and I can keep my hair straight for like a week and a half now, and I just get the benefit of the shine, is Color Wow. The Color Wow humidity, like the anti-humidity thing. I've been using that for the last month, and that's all I use on my hair now. And I stretch it. I, use that. I blow dry it. And
I just got some Color Wow products.
Yeah, use it. And then I want you to use a 4 Naturals treatment. And then I want you to go on that date.
Okay. One last question, and then we'll wrap up, because this is I feel excited. Like, it always feels good to like see someone else's journey and to see like the difference, where you started, where you are now. And it's like, how did you get there? And this seems like it works. It's worked for you. It's worked for the people who you've put it on. When you do this, your treatment, does it touch your scalp? Do you need it to go all the way to the scalp, or do you just want it on the
saturate your hair? You saturate your hair. Henna has antifungal and antimicrobial properties, so it's great for the scalp. Cassia, the same.
It is good
fenugreek.
for the scalp.
There's fenugreek in it. There's aloe in it. It's amazing for the scalp.
Great. Okay.
Coffee, we're going to exfoliate you, and then like you get to condition, moisturize yourself. Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, wait, one last question.
Okay.
Are you still doing, because this seems like a whole other dream journey that God has sent you on, or, whoever you call it, whatever. I call it God. But what are you still doing your acting and the CEO boss bitch miss?
Absolutely. I'm very well known when I'm at work on set, like I'm at work. So everybody knows, like they see me, they're like, Shalita, you're so professional. I bring my lap desk.
Oh,
work with me. And when I'm not blah blahing in front of the camera, I use my time for NCIS. Even like I went back to school. I did UCLA extension for writing
Wait,
while I was in
what?
season 2. Yeah. I just like our whole life, like I just look at everything, right? And I'm like, we're sitting around for hours at a time. So yeah, I want to use my time well. And so I took myself back to school, found out I didn't want to be a writer. And now I just like run things. And when I'm not on a set, I'm home in Mexico running my business. And then I go work wherever work is. And then I come back home to Mexico. I'm a temporary resident. I'm legal.
Oh, you are so inspiring and such a bright, shining light. And thank you for spending so much time with me today, time with us, whoever's listening. And I am so excited. I'm definitely going to want to try this.
Yes.
And maybe
yes.
do like progress photos too.
And we give coupon codes for our podcast, different podcasts that I'm doing. So if you'd like coupon codes for your audience,
yes,
we can create them for you.
We can definitely talk. This is so great. How can people follow you and find you?
Yeah. So honestly, I just want you to go to fornaturalshair.com. There you'll find all of our tutorials, videos, and we're constantly adding content to that website. And
do you spell out the 4 or is it the number 4?
Spell out the 4, spell out the number 4, and naturals plural as in all of us, because it does work for all of us.
Thank you. Anything else? Anything else of where they can find you?
Nope, just find me there, y'all. That's it.
Oh my gosh. Shalita, thank you so much. Everybody, Shalita Grant, thank you so much for spending the time.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.